another news and commentary. I have some breaking news that's going on. There's been another police-involved shooting in Philadelphia. 27-year-old named Walter Wallace Jr. was shot multiple times by Philadelphia police. Now, before I read this article, there's been reports and there's witnesses saying that he did have a knife, right? He has a knife, and the mother of Walter Wallace Jr. and the father was there trying to de-escalate the situation. Unfortunately, Walter Wallace Jr. pushed the mother aside, and that's when Philadelphia police. Now they say he was charging police, but according to a video, he was nearly going towards the police, nearly not going towards in full force, but nearly. And that's when they shot this brother multiple times, killing him. So I'm going to go ahead and read this article. This comes from the Philadelphia Inquirer. It says, police officer fatally shot a 27-year-old black man armed with a knife during a confrontation Monday afternoon in West Philadelphia that quickly raised tensions in the neighborhood. Late into the night, growing anger turned into a violent standoff at the local police district headquarters, with several police officers injured by bricks or other objects hurled from the crowd. Late Monday into early Tuesday, police struggled to respond to vandalism and looting along the commercial corridor of 52nd Street. At least one police vehicle was set on fire and destroyed. The episode began shortly before 4 p.m., police said, when two officers responded to the 6100 block of Locust Street after a report of a man with a knife. Family members identified him as Walter Wallace Jr. A video posted on social media showed that Wallace was undetermined distance from the officers and appeared to be multiple feet from them when they fired numerous shots. The video depicts the video depicts Wallace walking towards the officers and police backing away. The video then swings briefly out of view. In that moment, police fire at Wallace. And this is the tweet from Anna Oroso. And you can see that with a group of dozens still in West Philly, about a block from precinct, police with shields pushed back crowds as people threw bottles. And another incident, they said police SUV is on fire, as you can see, at 52nd and Market, surrounded by a crowd of a couple of hundreds. Police spokesperson Sergeant Eric Grip said officers were called to the block and encountered a man who was holding a knife. Grip said the officers ordered him to drop the weapon, and he advanced towards the officers. Grip said investigators are reviewing footage of what happened. Both officers were wearing body cameras. He said both officers fired several times after a man was shot. He fell to the ground, and Grip said one of the officers drove him to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center. Now, this is a tweet from Ellie Rushing. I'm in Cobbs Creek neighborhood of Philadelphia, where police shot a black man less than an hour ago. Witnesses said he had a knife but was not charging police. Numerous shell casings are in the street. Neighbors are irate, crying, yelling at police. Grip said it was unclear how many times the man was shot or where he was struck. The officers fired possibly a dozen or more times, according to an account by witnesses and family members. Police marked the crime scene with at least 13 evidence markers. Both officers were taken off street duty pending an investigation. I'm going to stop you right there. So, yes, I mean, and a lot of people are going to say, well, Lyons did. He had a knife, and police was feared for their lives, so they have to shoot him. Yes, he has a knife. There's no question about it. There's no doubt about it. But family members has tried to de-escalate the situation, right? They tried so hard. The mother even tried to block Walter Wallace Jr. from even going near the police. Okay, so there's family members there. All right, there's family members did try to de-escalate the situation, and of course, police were drawing their guns and shot Walter Wallace Jr. multiple times, killing him. But then here's the question I'm about to ask every one of you. And I've been hearing that Walter Wallace Jr. has mental illness. Okay. And then we in the black community don't want to admit that we have mental illness in in the community. But yet we have it. And we still haven't addressed by it. Now, the situation is that if this suspect was white, will they do the same thing to him? And my answer to that is I don't think so. There's numerous of videos, ladies and gentlemen, that try to talk the man down. Okay, they say put the knife down. They even tase and try to. If you can't, just shoot him in the arm or shoot him in the hand and force him to drop the knife. And then but the family was there trying to de-escalate the situation, and unfortunately, the Philadelphia police, two of them, because I saw the video, and you can check the video out yourself on my fan page on YouTube, on my community page on YouTube, because I tried to download on Reaction here. Unfortunately, Reaction didn't do it, so I just do this article instead. So you can check the video by yourself, and you can make a judgment of what's going on. But it's on my my community page on YouTube. You can see the video, but it shows you that he basically come near where the officers was. But then the officers backed off, But then she's been, and that's when he's been shot multiple times, killing them. And the mother, you can see the mother was upset because she tried to de-escalate the situation. So it ain't like that. Well, where's the family at? But they were there trying to de-escalate the situation, and this happened. So let me continue with this article, y'all. It says Police Commissioner Danielle Outlaw arrived at the scene shortly after the incident as a crowd of neighbors yelled at police and questioned the use of force. By 6:30 p.m., police reopened the street and the crowd had largely dispersed. Dozens of protesters then gathered at Malcolm X Park at 51st Street and Pine, chanting Black Lives Matter. They marched to the police station at 55th and Pine Streets as they chanted, "Say his name, Walter Wallace." Protesters confronted police who stood in a line with riot shields behind metal barricades at the police station at the 55th and Pine Street and remained there in a standoff for several hours. People in the crowd could be seen throwing objects at the officers. A group also marched into University City. At least one TV news vehicle was vandalized, and police reported that windows had been broken on Chestnut Street. Walter Wallace Sr., the man's father, said his son appeared to have been shot 10 times. Why didn't they use a taser? Wallace Sr. asked outside of a family residence on the block. His mother was trying to defuse the situation. Wallace Sr. said his son struggled with mental health issues and was on medication. He has mental issues. Why you have to gun him down? Mayor Jim Kenney, in a statement Monday night, pledged a full investigation. "My prayers are with the family and friends of Walter Wallace," he said. "I have watched the video of this tragic incident, and it presents difficult questions that must be answered. I spoke tonight with Mr. Wallace's family and will continue to reach out to hear their concerns firsthand and to answer their questions to the extent that I am able." Outlaw, too, said the department would conduct an inquiry. "Residents have my assurance that those questions will be fully addressed by the investigation," she said. "While at the scene this evening, I've heard and felt the anger of the community. Everyone involved will forever be impacted. I will be leaning on what the investigation gleans to answer the many unanswered questions that exist. I also plan to join the mayor in meeting with members of the community and members of Mr. Wallace's family to hear their concerns as soon as it can be scheduled." Maurice Holloway was on the street talking to his aunt when he saw police arrive. Wallace had a knife and was standing on the porch of his home. Wallace said, and officers immediately drew their guns. Wallace's mother was with him and chased after him as he walked down the steps of his porch. Still holding a knife, his mother tried to shield him. Holloway said and tell police he was her son. I'm yelling, put down the gun, put down the gun. And everyone is saying, don't shoot him. He's going to put it down. We know him, said Holloway, 35. The woman tried to grab her son, but he brushed her off and walked behind a car before emerging again, Holloway said. He turns and then you hear the shots, Holloway said. They were too far from him, he said. It was so many shots. Arnett Woodall, a community organizer who lives a few blocks away, came to the scene shortly after the incident. He said he immediately saw how many evidence markers were in the street and felt it was a textbook example of excessive force. Then he saw the video. Why not a warning shot? Woodall, 56, asked. Why not a taser? Why not a shot in the leg? He said the incident showed why police must implement stronger community policing protocols and why the city should invest in towns watching programs. The city of Philadelphia can do better, he said. District Attorney Larry Krasner said in a statement Monday evening, the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office takes its obligation to try to be fair and to seek even-handed justice seriously. DOA, which is the District Attorney's Office, Special Investigation Unit, responded to today's fatal shooting of a civilian by police shortly after it occurred and has been on the scene with other DAO personnel since that time investigating. Krasner encouraged witnesses or others with information to contact the District Attorney's Office. In the hours and days following the shooting, we asked Philadelphians to come together to uphold people's freedom to express themselves peacefully and to reject violence of any kind, he said. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to continue this article. Okay, let me finish this real quick. John Nesby, president of the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 5, said in a statement, our police officers are being vilified this evening for doing their job and keeping the community safe after being confronted by a man with a knife. We support and defend these officers as they too are traumatized by being involved in a fatal shooting. We ask the public for its patience as investigators work to gather all the facts of this tragic incident in West Philadelphia today. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the Philadelphia Inquirer article. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. And I know a lot of you guys are going to come and say, Lions Den, he did have a knife. He did try to charge the officers with the knife. So it's the justification of shooting Walter Wallace. Well, the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, that he did have a knife. But they could have de-escalated the situation better. And I'm going to be honest with you. Had that been a white suspect, none of this would never happen, right? And it ain't like he didn't have family around him trying to talk him down, which they did. And the people in the neighborhood knows who Walter Wallace was. So he would have then dropped the knife down. But then, and as you notice that we in the black community has mental health issues as well. So the thing of it is that, and a lot of people don't want to talk about mental health issues in the black community, but we do have it. And the problem is that we don't address it. And I mean, this is really sad, ladies and gentlemen. But again, now, again, like I told you, this to me, yes, he had a knife, but again, they should have de-escalated the situation again better. So you see protests now are outside of Western Philadelphia. You see police officers with riot shields. And again, like I said, things would have handled a little differently. And a lot of people are going to say, well, he did have a knife. He did have a weapon. But again, like the father said, they could have at least tased him or at least shot him in the arm or shot him in the hand to force him to drop the knife. And he would have dropped the knife right in and there. But then look what we have. We have different situations between the black community and the white community. Now, if a white person with arm, they would have de-escalated the situation. If a black person was with arm, they would have killed him. There's no question about it. They no de-escalate. And they said they did say drop the knife. But it ain't like the family members wouldn't help him try to de-escalate the situation because they were. And then when they shot this man multiple times, and again, if you want to see the video again is graphic. I can't put it on my reaction app, but you will see it on my community page on YouTube. You're going to just click it and you're going to see it for yourself of what happened, right? But you see, after they shot and killed the brother, the mother came out and was hurt. She was upset. I think she threw something at the officer, but she was upset. And you see all the crowd try to rush on in now. And that's when all hell broke loose. So, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think about this. I mean, did he have a knife? Yes, he did. Did they have? I mean, shouldn't they have? Did they have to shoot? Do the officers have to shoot the brother? No, they did not, because they should have handled it the different way instead of this. So y'all let me know what you think. Like, click, subscribe, and remember to click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Inside and off. Deuces.